Hello, everybody. Welcome to Goshen Prepping. One of the biggest things we worry about and are concerned about is heading into World War III. I think it's inevitable. I believe it's coming. And with that, we don't have a lot of people who want to fight this war. So we've talked about the draft, we talked about conscription, and we are one step closer to making this happen. Let me show you a couple articles, and then I'd like to see what you think about this. First off, from the Daily Mail, the Prime Minister of Britain reveals radical plan to force 18-year-olds to serve in the military for 12 months or give up weekends to carry out civil duties. Why not? Sweden, Norway, France, Denmark, possibly even Germany too, are also introducing the same kind of service. And almost going on a side note, think about this. Right now we're seeing a situation in which the younger kids nowadays, 18 through 25, it's hard to classify specific age numbers with this, don't want to work. Or if they do, it's only just like a few hours a day. I've literally had them on this channel yell at me and say, I don't want to be like you, and I don't want to work a 40-hour work week. Do you think I wanted to also? It's just what you have to do. You have to provide for your family. So I could see this happening in America too. How about you? Where we're setting up some kind of conscription. But you know what? If you don't want to do the conscription, if you don't want to go in the military, some will take that, by the way, then you'll have to do some kind of civil service and possibly give up on weekends just to get them off their duffs and get out to working. But I say this because when we see things happening, look, Britain, out of anything, when we talk about the relationship between America and any country, it's going to be Britain. We are all brothers as far as I'm concerned when it comes to these countries. If they're doing it, it very well may happen here as well. Let's be honest. Lawmakers moved to automate the selective service registration for all men. And even more so, this just came out in the news, the House has finally moved to automate the selective service registration amid compliance issues. Selective service is selective service. I have an 18-year-old son. He registered with Selective Service, got his notification in the mail that he may be called for jury duty now. It's one of those rite of passages for an 18-year-old. And we haven't had an active, draft since, 73, I think it was, and basically it was done away with. But the reason, think about this. People will say, oh, they'll never do it. Really? If they never did it, then why are they going to have the Selective Service to begin with? It's there in case they need to call up military. But why are they making this automated? Is to make it more streamlined? Maybe to save cost, to make it easier for people? No, because of compliance issues. In other words, we're seeing more and more people not wanting to register Selective Service. So you know what? We're going to make it automatic for you. You have no choice. We have you on our records anyway. When you turn 18, oh, congratulations, you're now registered for Selective Service. And if and when a war happens, we know who you are. And who are you? Yeah, we've seen in the past a requirement for women to register as well. It says back on the table, but this actually was a few years ago. So I'm not saying it's happening again, but I will say it is going to happen again. They've actually, from what I understand, I could be wrong, I think they've tried this twice now to try to introduce women. But with this whole issue that the government keeps trying to pushing as far as the fluidity between men and women anyway, as far as they're concerned, there is no man and woman. So I believe a time is coming. The only reason, by the way, that they have not put women on the Selective Service now is because of votes. They know for a fact if they put it on there, even though that's what they want, they're probably salivating, let's put women on there. They know that people are going to be completely seriously upset with their party. They're not going to vote for them anymore. That's what it comes down to. It's very simple. But something else we see too, of course. We talk about having a Selective Service and a conscription for what? An invasion. The invasion's already here. So we do want to look at the possibility of aliens coming in the United States. Illegal or legal, mind you. When I joined the military, it was a big surprise to me. I didn't know that. And I was just naive as a kid, that there was a lot of people who were not American serving in the military. I was like, how could you be here? You're not American. They would actually do it because it goes to, I could be wrong. I don't know exactly how that works for them, but it goes toward them becoming a citizen someday. And I'm like, that makes perfect sense. We see a ridiculous amount of foreign nationals, illegal immigrants coming in. So what about using them? I have people say this all the time. They would be a perfect person to use in the military as well. Do they even have to register for Selective Service? Actually, they do. They do need to, but they don't. Let me show you what this means. United States immigrants are required by law to register with Selective Service. Now, if you're here on a non-immigrant visa, that's a different story. But just immigrants per se, who are not on a visa, 18 to 25, are required to register. This includes naturalized citizens, parolees, undocumented immigrants, in other words, illegals coming in, legal permanent, asylum seekers, refugees, etc., are all required. So is that what they're doing? They're making it so they can register for the Selective Service? No, it's not. They have a special section, undocumented immigrants. We do not now or in the past collect or share any information which would indicate a man's immigration status, either documented or undocumented. Selective Service has no authority to collect that information, has no use for it. In other words, we couldn't care less. And it is irrelevant to the registration requirement. Consequently, there is no immigration data to share with anyone anyway. So it's interesting when we talk about these undocumented immigrants, illegal immigrants, there's certain things that judges have actually said they can do. They can carry a firearm. What? To actually apply for a firearm, that's one of the things on there that says, are you an immigrant or are you United States, et cetera. But they can obtain them illegally, and a federal judge said, oh, you can go ahead and keep that firearm, no problem for you. We give them things like cell phones and money to be able to come in the country. And I don't know if you know it, when they come in, they register them and say, okay, you need to appear at court on this date. Then they disappear into the country. But when it comes to Selective Service, you're required, by the way, for Selective Service, but we're never going to check on you for it. Meanwhile, you and me, our brothers, our sisters, our sons, our daughters, grandkids are all in a position in which we seriously may see conscription start again. Might be a couple years down the road, but literally we're heading in that direction. And Selective Service just made it easier by basically saying, you know what, since so many people don't care about it, we're going to make it automated and automatic. So as Britain is now bringing in, or thinking about anyway, all 18-year-olds, we're seeing this in a lot of countries in Europe, by the way, as they're gearing up for war. Personally, I think it's just a matter of time in the United States. We see the exact same thing. What do you think about that? Put your thoughts in the comments below, because honestly, the whole thing makes me very weary. Even though my son is registered with Selective Service, he's 18, I believe we are heading for a conscription in a time we're at war. How about you? Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.